Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. I'm your host, John Drummond, and last night we got two very big upsets in game one. Now, these are two teams that had a really long break in between rounds. This is a team in the Denver Nuggets who just got through a grueling 7-game series, and the New York Knicks who just got through a grueling 6-game series, versus the Boston Celtics who only had a 5-game series against the Orlando Magic, and for an Oklahoma City Thunder team that swept the Memphis Grizzlies in 4 games. And in my opinion, the bigger upset was the New York Knicks going into Boston and beating them in game one. And I was somebody who said the Boston Celtics were going to win this series pretty handily, and in this episode of At the Buzzer Sports, we're going to be breaking down this game. Not only do the Boston Celtics go in and lose this game, they also blew a 20-point lead. So I kind of want to talk about what happened in the first half and what happened in the second half that kind of like made this game close out the way it did. Just a couple of notes, and I want to talk about some of the good things that the Boston Celtics did, or some of the good things that the Boston Celtics got. I think Jason Tatum was really aggressive in the first half. I think he was about 4 for 8 shooting. He knocked down a lot of shots. He got a lot of pull-up 3 opportunities because Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson just weren't the best in drop coverage, and they decided to play drop coverage multiple times. So Jason Tatum was able to punish them from 3. I think he was getting whatever switch he wanted. I think he was getting any look he wanted, whether it was 3-point shots, getting to the mid-range, or getting to the rim. But on the opposing end, they had a lot of Jason Tatum guarding Karl Anthony Towns. They also had a lot of Jaylen Brown guarding Karl Anthony Towns, a lot of Derek White and Drew Holiday. I think Karl Anthony Towns was definitely aggressive in the first half, just getting to the basket consistently, and I think he was 4 for 8 shooting. Okay, so first 5 minutes in the game, Jason Tatum's bringing the ball up the floor. Is about 8-7. Bringing the ball up the floor, as we know. We're just going to zoom past this just a little bit. He's going to already receive a screen from Kristaps Porzingis. And instead of OG fighting through the screen here, we're going to see Drew Holiday also set a screen. Because one, Kristaps Porzingis is such a mismatch, you have to stick with him. So now you have an action between Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson as your primary defenders in the action, which is not something that the New York Knicks would want. So once they get the screen there, Drew Holiday does a pretty good job setting the screen, and now Jason Tatum has Jalen Brunson here. But instead of Jalen Brunson taking this matchup head on, he tries to go back to Drew Holiday. As he's doing that, Karl Anthony Towns should be at least closing out, because the second Jalen Brunson backs up just a little bit here, Jason Tatum's going to be able to rise up for 3, and he knocks that down. So it's just going to be them taking advantage of those mismatches between Cat, Jalen Brunson with their guys like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. Here's just another switch between him and Jalen Brunson, and I think this is like what you need to see from Jason Tatum, just attacking these switches. I think he did a really good job of that in the first half. So he's going to take the switch, he's going to drive, he's going to get the lane, and he's actually going to stop here, take a mid-range shot, and he knocks it down. Really good look. And what is the best part about this is the Boston Celtics were getting this lead, and they were attacking these mismatches, and they were getting to the rim, and they also shot really bad from 3. The Boston Celtics missed 45 threes last night. Jaylen Brown goes 1 for 10. Jason Tatum goes 4 for 15, and Derek White goes 5 for 16. It was just a really bad shooting night for the Boston Celtics. And then when I look at them not shooting those shots, the Boston Celtics aren't going to shoot like this throughout the entire series. And for it to be this close of a game, this was definitely a game that the Knicks needed to win, because them missing all these shots, they were getting really good looks. If we take a look at this possession here, Jason Tatum's going to be in the post against Jalen Brunson. Once again, they were getting these switches and they were getting these mismatches at will throughout the entire game. So when Jason Tatum spins, you're going to see OG Anunoby send help. Same with Mitchell Robinson. Same with Josh Hart. Jason Tatum notices that, and he's going to make the skip pass to Drew Holiday. And then one more pass away is a wide open Derek White. The shot just does not fall. It just does not fall. Here we have another look where Jason Tatum's just going to play a simple screen and roll coverage, and Mitchell Robinson just cannot play at the level. He cannot do it. So therefore, you get all of this space and opportunity for Jason Tatum to rise up for the jump shot. Once again, it just does not fall. And this is where I really do want to give the New York Knicks credit for this win, because when you have a team like the Boston Celtics, who are the best 3-point shooting team in the league, and they have a cold shooting night like this from 3, you have to take advantage of that. Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby combined for 40 points in the second half. They shot 13 for 21 from the field, 8 for 10 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. They were getting out in transition, they were getting to the free throw line, and they were knocking down open shots. I also want to say this, Kristaps Porzingis did leave the game with some type of virus that he had earlier in the game. I think he only played about 13 minutes, but he just was not good, and he has not been good throughout the playoffs. Like, when you look at some of the possessions that Kristaps Porzingis had, which we're going to look at in a few minutes, he was trying to attack mismatches. There was a possession where he had set a screen and Jason Tatum gave him a perfect pocket pass for him to head to the rim. He misses that. He gets a switch on Mikal Bridges. He gets the ball, misses the layup, and then fumbles the offensive rebound, and now the Knicks are in the open floor. And for a guy like Kristaps Porzingis to be, in my opinion, the X factor for this team, he definitely has to play better. Here we're going to see Kristaps Porzingis post up against Mikal Bridges, and this is another mismatch that Kristaps Porzingis should thrive in, just because he has such a length advantage over Mikal Bridges and a strength advantage. So he gets the ball down low. He's going to catch it here. He's going to go up, and he completely jacks the layup. Then he gets the offensive rebound. Okay, he actually did get the offensive rebound in this possession. Wide open Derek White, which they've been getting all game, and he actually knocks this one down. So I thought the Celtics were going to start off this game really hot from this. Here's another play where Kristaps Porzingis is going to set the screen for Jason Tatum. He sets the screen for Jason Tatum, and he makes the perfect laydown pass for KP to drive to the rim. Now, this is really good rim protection from OG Anunoby, but this could also just be maybe a running floater right here. He doesn't have to go all the way to the rim, but he just hasn't been attacking mismatches as of well lately. He hasn't been great on defense either, and those are the things that needs to be talked about. Now, as for the New York Knicks, I think their defensive intensity in the second half, and maybe just the fourth quarter and in overtime, they were really aggressive on the defensive end. They were sending two to the ball. They were rotating really quickly. Mikal Bridges was flying all over the floor. OG Anunoby was really good in isolation, and so was Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns was rebounding the hell out of the ball. So was Mitchell Robinson. These guys were creating turnovers and making it really hard for the Celtics to generate offense. And while the Boston Celtics were having a really cold stretch from three, Jason Tatum's shot diet just got worse and worse and worse as the game went along. And that's something we can see from Jason Tatum kind of consistently, just having that type of shot diet where it's like sidestep three, pull up mid-range, and he's not getting to the rim as consistent. And the New York Knicks took advantage of that. And in the fourth quarter, Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby in the fourth quarter and overtime, they were fantastic. Jalen Brunson was knocking down three after three. He had a switch on Al Horford. He hit a three out of that. OG Anunoby was getting to the 3-point line and knocking down his shots, and he was also converting in transition. So if the Boston Celtics are going to have a 3-point shooting night like that, you have to take advantage, and that's what the Celtics did. That's what the New York Knicks did. Overall, this was a really good win for the New York Knicks. This doesn't necessarily change my prediction for this series. I think the process over the outcome is what we really have to look at in this episode. The shot quality that the Boston Celtics got time and time again, and the way they were able to get switches and mismatches time and time again, I think is really what I predicted in this series, and for them to have all those open threes. But Knicks fans, you should be happy you guys went into game one and took a game in Boston, because Jalen Brunson was phenomenal. OG Anunoby was phenomenal. Mikal Bridges was phenomenal. Deuce McBride had some really good minutes coming off the bench, and Karl Anthony Towns was really aggressive had he not gotten foul trouble. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like this type of content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing some type of recaps for a lot of these playoff games, and I'm going to keep doing those in the future. So before you get out of here, make sure you turn on your post notifications. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at the Buzzer Sports, on TikTok at the Buzzer Sports, on Twitter at ATB Sports 1, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.